My name is Jason Ledford. I teach cinematography and post-production.
I am Steve Niss. I'm the program director.
My name's Cole Fillingame. I'm the equipment manager.
My name is Joshua Overbay. I'm an associate professor of film and TV, and I teach directing.
Brenda Lilly, professor, screenwriting and television, and anything else they want me to teach.
Here at the School of Stage and Screen.
Our next segment is now versus then Control Chaos.
Wow.
So, over the time of being with Control Chaos around the beginning stages, have you noticed any shifts in stories are being told and the voices that's being told through the platform at the film festivals?
It doesn't frustrate me. You know, I feel like we're growing as a program, and as we grow as a program, we are finding ourselves in a position of having more and more excellent films to present.
I think that a few more bolder voices are starting to be shown, especially with last year's festival. We've got a lot of positive attributions heading our way whenever it comes to the ideas that the students really want to try to pursue and develop into something that's means a lot to them personally.
I mean, I think comparing to when I started here, the visual prowess of the program and the just technical expertise, especially visually, has radically increased. And I think we make stuff that looks professional because it's professionally made. I think our process is sound. I think it's much harder to direct actors. And I think performance-wise, there's been a slow arc. I think the performances are getting better. I think the directing is getting better. I don't think we're there yet. I feel the same way about the screenwriting. I think that the stories have improved, not there yet. And I think those are the two areas, in my opinion, that I'm hoping we grow a lot in.
When I first started teaching here in the theater program, they only did 2 thesis films a year. And then the rest of the entries into the film festival were class projects, The Lost Key, the missed phone call, things like that. And then there would be 2 long pieces that were the thesis films. I think what is consistent is that our students are highly ambitious, and so they like to take on things that are often bigger than we have the ability to really do, with the amount of equipment we have, with the amount of editing that we have, with the amount of students we have, and the amount of money we have. And so that's a frustration for me because, film is costly. We are not a theater who charges admission. We obviously charge admission for the festival, but that's one production. The theater department does, 4 main stage shows that they charge admission for.
The frustrating part, I would say, is that if we're able to somehow figure out how to get the university and more of the university body to really be integrated into the films and the wonderful art that our students make, I think that would be great. But I think that so many people around the university, if they really knew the hard work and the cool stories that our students were making, they'd show up and they'd really be more supportive in general of the kinds of pursuits that the students are wanting.
Well, having let's see, how do I answer this one? I got my bachelor's in filmmaking from Western Carolina, so I look at Control Chaos in 2 lenses. Being a part of Control Chaos as a student and being a part of Control Chaos as faculty. And so I view it, I love Control Chaos. It's a way to showcase your films in an environment that celebrates the community that is Western Carolina University. The thing too with that knowledge too is that I have been rejected in Control Chaos before. And I did not get my first movie into Control Chaos until my senior year when I was graduating. But that movie was the foundation for keeping the program alive at the time. Little did I know at that time what we were going through, but they were looking at shutting down the film program. It was one of the lists of the cut lists. And the two films that screened that year at Control Chaos was ones that brought a renewed focus to what our program could be. And so I'm proud of that. And now I've watched Control Chaos grow from some not great projects to really standout projects. Watching people's voices grow, watching people fly as filmmakers, and I get to see their hard work up on that screen, and it inspires me to see everybody grow. And so,
Yeah, so I have not been around since the beginning of Control Chaos. This is our 17th year that we're running this festival. This is my second year in charge of the class. It's my third year at Western. So I can really only speak to the last few years, but what I've seen is that the work just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And every time I've talked to faculty members who have been around a little bit longer than me, they're agreeing that right now the student work that is being shown every year is the strongest that it's ever been. And it just keeps getting bigger. The projects get bigger, they get better. The performances get better. It's just across the board, the films have been getting more and more enjoyable to watch. Part of that certainly is related to our students becoming more talented and being able to do better work and having the resources available to them. But I think part of that is that the festival itself is also becoming more and more resourced and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now it's a 3-day festival. It's never been a 3-day festival before. We have had 2 nights for a few years, but those nights, I think there was a long traditional thinking that like one of the nights was going to be the best films and then the other night was just everything else that didn't get in. And that's just not the case anymore. There are a lot of really good films that we unfortunately have to choose either not to put in or that they maybe don't screen at the place that they want to screen at. But that said, the quality of both nights is going to be really, really good. And I would put it up against any film school in the country.
And what particular moment from the festival that you feel best capture what the festival is for?
It's kind of hard to say. It's wonderful to see and hear everyone's reaction, especially from working backstage for genuine shock or anything like that. Not just the fact that they saw their friend in a movie, but for the fact that, oh wow, that was actually really good. That actually moved me or made me kind of sad and everything, if it was a sad story or what have you.
the cheering, at the end of the movies.
I mean, honestly, like, I love the awards that we've added. Let me say that again. I've loved the awards we've added. I think it's a really cool thing to just, like, celebrate each other. And for people to have that moment of, like, oh my God, they love my movie. They see what I can do. They see my craft. They see the value I have. And then for everyone to celebrate at the same time. I mean, that's powerful for an artist. We don't often get those moments. So that's probably my favorite thing, is that the end celebration, we're giving speeches, people are jumping up and clapping. It's a lot of euphoria and joy. That's my favorite part.
The particular moment would be the very open of the festival. I think, well, let's say night 2. I think the open of night 2, which is our night in Bardo, it's kind of our big award show. Everybody is dressed up as formally as they can get.
I think it's to make our students feel good about their work. That they get this moment in time in their education here to dress up and put on a show and celebrate the work that they have done over the 2 semesters, that they get to celebrate their cohorts.
It's the safest place that you're ever going to show your film.
That there's definitely a more competitive edge to them that has been beginning to develop whenever it comes to not only what you controlled chaos in order to be appreciated for the hard work that everybody's done, everybody can watch it together, but for the fact that now a lot of these films are being taken to film festivals to be shown, to not just get accolades, but also for networking purposes. I think that way more of that is being encouraged and pursued, especially with the goals of the students in mind with the films that they're pursuing.
Any thoughts or expectations for high school or short films?
It's definitely is. What do I want to say about this?
Add an additional day for the high schooler on May 3rd. Any thoughts or expectations for these high schoolers films?
Not really. I mean, I'm sure they're all going to be great. The kids are going to have done a lot of wonderful things. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of in awe of our students that come in. I'm blown away. So my expectations are quite high.
They won't be as good as the Western movies. We know that. Because obviously they're not getting the type of training that our kids are and our students are, that are, and I think our program is getting a lot better. I mean, my hope for them is that they just feel like just the surge of like, oh my God, what am I doing? How did this even happen? By sitting in the audience and seeing their film on a big screen. I mean, that changes you, because you recognize, like, for this 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 minutes, what I'm doing has everyone's attention. And if I lose their attention, it's my fault. So I don't know, just having that experience for the first time of seeing their movie screened in front of a lot of people, I hope it's special. I hope they feel all the fear and joy and possibility that percolates in as a result of that.
Any thoughts or expectations for the high school or short films?
I don't have any expectations. I'm really open to whatever comes our way, but I'm really hoping that, over the years, as we do this a little bit more and a little bit more, we're able to build up that network and then really put Western on the map as a place that students can pursue their own kinds of projects and have access to equipment, which not everybody gets a chance to, and that's usually the big wall to try to break through, is to get access to resources so you can make what you want with people who are willing to work with you for practically for free at this point, but for not a lot of money in general.
I think everybody's going to be pleasantly surprised when you see that, because with today's changing world for education, I wished there was a media arts program in the high school I went to. There's some talented kids out there. Josh Overbay and I have been going to the High School Film Festival in New York City for the last 2 years, and we've seen some very, very, very talented high school students from all across this country. And
I think the work is going to be really good. We've tried to build more of a variety than maybe what you'll see at Controlled, because whatever our students make is what we get. With the high school festival, we ended up with over 300 submissions. So there was a lot to choose from. So we'll have documentaries. We've got one animated film. We've got a stop motion film. We've got some narrative fiction films. It's a lot of really good stuff.